talk about the mechanics of how access to source is personal power. So, like, for me, when I'm leaning into that, I'm very aware that literally everything manifested is is come from source. And if I'm standing in clarity, meaning I'm standing in access to source, then I can look at everything and know that it's going to be here supporting me in some way. And then even like sometimes it's very direct support, like, here, let me help you, says somebody. I'll
Right.
I'll help you figure that out or something, whatever, right? It can be
Mm-hmm.
indirect support, which is sort of like, a little glitch or a little something that forces me to stop, forces me to pause, forces me to
Mm-hmm.
reorient, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So indirect support, or it can poke me, right? It can be, right? Like I'd say the gout was almost an indirect support, but the Christmas holiday was a pokey support,
Big time. Yep.
right? So it's just like this, it's still support. There's still a big support, but it's a support, like to poke at the thing that you're running that's not serving you. But it's all
Right.
support. And that's what I think of when I think of personal power,
Okay.
right? Like my power is in me listening to source and seeing where the alignment is.
Yeah.
And then I give that up if I don't go stand there. So in the direct
Yeah.
support, someone's like, here, can I help you? And I go, and I'm full of my own stuff in my own story. And I'm like, no, 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 don't, no, no, I'll figure it out. Right? That's
Mm.
me not
Not listening, not
not
standing in it.
not standing in my own person in the power of this moment. Indirectly, this one would happen a lot because I used to have this very sweet friend who was very, very uncomfortable if if I was moving in a way that was out of harmony with the group. It would profoundly
Mm.
embarrass him. But so like being in a movie lineup and then the movie starting and then I would go to look. I was listening and I would go to look and then I'd see that it was because there was like only one kid who was like 15 trying to do the tickets. It was way over his head, you know? And so now I could just be like, and I give up my power and I just stand back in line because the group is standing in line. And that's the pressure I'm feeling with, if I would say it was with my buddy. The pressure from him very obtusely, like looking me in the eye and being like, Kiran, get back in line, shut up, don't say anything, right?
Okay.
Is like, that's me giving up the power because I can hear. I heard there was a problem, then I saw the problem. So I'm going to go in and go find the manager and say to the manager, there's a very long lineup. Some of us are missing our movie start times because your kid down below doesn't have the skill to navigate this big of a line. Could you please send someone down? Right?
Sure.
That's
Sure.
me standing in it. Unless doing that causes tension to me. Maybe
Right.
that's not my delicious yes, right? Then it's me being a little righteous, right? It definitely, for me to go do that could be my delicious yes. It's certainly not my friend's delicious yes that I go do that.
Right.
He's in
Right.
terrible tension that I'm doing that.
Sure.
But the truth is, often for me, this one, I have a huge capacity over here, huge, huge capacity, which you've noticed. And I can be what it for someone is confrontation and for me is conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much capacity here. It's a long way into like confrontation or something before I notice it's even a problem, you know? So, But anyways, but if it's my delicious yes, I'm in my power. However, it may not be my delicious yes, and my delicious yes may be the indirect one, which is like, do you really want to see this movie? Do you really want to stand in this lineup? Do you really want to have, like, here's a clunk, pause.
Yes.
Where's my
Uh-huh.
yes? Maybe it's to, like, go have tea and a dessert or something else, like, and then
Mhm.
so I either stand in my yes and go do that, and that's the power. That's my power. My personal power is not leaving, like, going and fixing the problem if it's not my delicious yes. Something I talk about all the time with people is, like, the no is not the solution. The no is the redirection. But you have to use the no to leverage yourself to the yes.
Mhm.
It's the little pinball thing in a pinball machine. The no flips the pinball towards where the yes is. And so you can't stand in no and act from no. You have to hear your no, listen to your no, and use it to go like as a directional arrow towards where the yes is. So we're acting on the yes. The
Mhm.
action always comes from that yes. That's personal power. And that's the mechanic of accessing the present moment and our relationship to source. And then standing in the yes, right? Is that place of deep empowerment. And the feedback loop tells us because of the fulfillment we have.